Okay, good morning everyone. Hello, Jason here, bringing you live streaming yoga on Facebook. Welcome. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful morning today. Special welcome to Gail. I hope that you're having a wonderful morning, and also to Aunt Dawn. So we do live streaming yoga every single day of the week, and depending on the day, multiple times a day. So hopefully you're having a nice morning and joining us for Monday, June the 29th, 2020. The time, oh, didn't modify that. The time is around 6:02, but let's correct that. Okay. So welcome guys, and we're going to begin our practice right now. So without further ado, whenever you're ready, find your way onto your mat. And we're going to begin today's class lying on our back with our knees bent and our feet about hips width distance apart. So as you feel ready, I'll be joining you all through today's practice today. There we go. And we will begin. Okay. So as soon as you find your way onto your back, just close your eyes and allow your breath to be long and slow here. So a really nice way to start is to bring the knees together and allow the feet to be apart. And what this does is it actually helps to set us up for our practice today. So as we rest here, and for the beginning of practice, we have an opportunity to observe our body, where we're at right now, and also to prepare ourselves for our practice today. So as you allow yourself to move through your breath, allow your breath to be long and slow, allow your body to continue to relax here into the mat. And as you feel ready, you'll take your right knee and hug the right knee into the chest. So once we hug the right knee into the chest, allow both elbows to release down to the mat. Allow the right toes to be flexed here. And just breathe into the back of the right hip. You'll notice here, as you breathe into the back of the right hip, that your breath can be long and slow, and you could continue to relax here as you release your elbows and your shoulders down to the mat. So as we continue to breathe here, this is an opportunity for us to check in with our body and our breath. Noticing the left foot pressing down, feeling the right knee hugging in, and just feeling both shoulders releasing down to the mat. As you feel ready, let's alternate those legs. So again here, as we develop ourselves into our practice, and especially in the very beginning of our practice, it's a great opportunity for us just to observe our breathing. Now, typically throughout a yoga class, you'll keep coming back to your breath, but especially in the beginning of the practice, just see if you can find your way back into the breath, noticing your right foot pressing down, feeling the left knee hugging into the chest, and allowing both elbows and both shoulders to release down towards the mat. And releasing that left foot back to the mat. Hug your right knee in once again. And this time just begin to extend your left leg entirely forward to the front of the mat. See that your left toes are flexed, meaning that your left toes are facing the ceiling. And just begin to feel that right knee hugging in. And you're going to make very small circles in that right leg. So the right knee will come out, it will come in, and then it will come towards the left leg. So it will move in this motion of a counterclockwise circle. Good. And then from here, you'll take hold of your right knee with your left hand, and you'll begin to draw your right knee over the left side of the body. This is a great stretch across the right side of the body. It's a hip flexor stretch. It's also a nice stretch for the lower back. So as you hug that right knee in towards the left side of the body, just breathe in here a few times into the groin, into the outer hip flexor, into the feet. You'll draw that knee back into center, and you'll release that foot on down as you hug the left knee into the chest. So the left knee hugs into the chest, extend your right leg entirely forward here. So as soon as we extend that right leg forward, we can begin to move the left knee. Once again, we'll do counter circles here because we'll be doing an internal rotation. So you could just begin to move the left knee in a clockwise fashion. Moving that knee out and in and away. Good. And eventually taking this left knee, bringing it, crossing it over the midline of the body and taking hold of your left knee with your right hand and drawing your left knee over the right side of the body. So as you breathe here, and it should be a very subtle stretch as we stretch out the hip flexor, as we stretch out the lower back, as we stretch out the entire left leg. Good, you'll draw that left knee back to center. You'll take the right knee back into center. You'll hug both knees into the chest. Just rock both knees right and left a few times here. And eventually release the feet down on the mat. So as we release the feet down on the mat, we're going to roll our knees over to the right side. Take the arms out over the head or just release the hands here. Simple stretch over to the right. Back to center. Simple twist over to the left. So anytime we talk about the low back and just alternate at your own pace here, you do want to continue to feel that your lower back has an opportunity to relax in our posture sequencing. So as you move right and left with the knees, this hopefully gives you an opportunity to release any tension in the back muscles. Good. And then rolling over onto the side, you'll press your way on up. And you'll find your way into a seated position. So you can sit up on a blanket. You can just sit on your mat. Take yourself into a seated position here. And as we take ourselves into a seated position, take your hands to the center chest. Just interlace the fingers here and press your palms forward in front of you. So on an in-breath, begin to lift your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And on an out-breath, begin to round the upper spine, shoulders, and chest here. As you inhale, lengthen those fingers up towards the ceiling, lifting up through your sternum. And as you exhale, begin to round across the spine. Feel the backs of your shoulders spreading wide apart. Inhale, lifting through the chest, lifting through the heart, lifting through the sternum. On an exhalation, rounding across the spine here. Good. As you inhale, lift the arms all the way up. Take the left palm, bring it right next to you, and take the right hand and bring it over top of the head. So as you breathe here, just begin to stretch out that right side of the body. This is called a lateral stretch. And breathe here. Breathing into that right hip, that right chest, the right fingers. And as you feel ready, gliding the right hand over the body, extending the left arm over the body this time, and breathing here. Breathing into the body, and breathing out. And breathing into the body, and breathing out. One more time. Breathing in. And breathing out. Excellent. So let's come back to center now and interlace the fingers again. Take your fingers the goofy way this time. So move your fingers over one finger. Press your fingers forward in front of you and round the spine here. Inhale. Float up the hands. Lift up the chest. Lift up the heart. On an exhale, just begin to round here and breathe. Good. Inhale, lifting up through the chest, heart, sternum. Exhale, rounding across the spine and breathing here. One more time, inhaling, lifting up. And exhaling, rounding. Good, and as you feel ready, let's come onto our hands and our knees, and we're going to come into tabletop pose. So as you come into tabletop pose, just see that the fingers are spread wide apart. See that your index fingers line up with the inner edges of the mat, or pointer fingers Line up with the inner edges of the mat. And just begin to breathe here as you press down through the fingers. Allow your outer arms to wrap in, meaning that your triceps start to hug in towards one another. Just start to scoot the hips right and left a few times here. So moving the hips over to the left, and back to center and over to the right. And back to center over the left. Good. And back to center over the right. So this is some stretching that we do for the lower back and also for the psoas, those two bands that run along the legs. That's it. And then as you come back to center, inhale, peeling up the chest. Exhale, rounding across the spine, just like we did. Inhale, peeling up through the chest. And exhale, rounding across the spine. One more time. Inhale, peeling up and through the chest. Exhale, rounding across the spine. Good. So tuck your toes underneath you. Rest down through the tops of the feet and lift the legs on up. Downward facing dog. Walk the feet to either side of the body and release the head down to the mat. So see that those fingers are spread wide apart and allow the forearms to lift up off the floor. As you continue to breathe here, just release the head on down. Now take both knees back to the mat. And I'm going to have you guys take your blocks and place them right in front of you right now. So you'll take both blocks, place them right in front of you. If you need a blanket, you can place the blanket underneath your left knee. And inhale, sweep your right leg forward in front of you. Inhale, peeling up the chest here. And exhale, just rounding slightly in the spine. Inhale, peeling up the chest here. Press through that right foot. And exhale, rounding across the spine. Inhale, peeling up the chest, lifting through the heart. And exhale, rounding across the spine. Good. So tuck those left toes underneath you. And lift that left leg on up. Bend that right knee deeply. And firm that right outer hip in. As you continue to breathe here, lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum. And exhale, rounding across the spine. Good. So release the left knee down to the mat and take the right knee on back. Keep your hands where they're at. Inhale, step your left leg forward in front of you and bend deeply into that left knee. So 3 times here. Just begin to inhale, lift the chest on up, and exhale, rounding across the spine. Inhale, lifting the chest on up. And exhale, rounding through the spine. Inhale, lifting the chest on up. And exhale, rounding through the spine. So here, take the left or right toes rather. Press the right toes down, lift the right leg up, and begin to straighten across that right leg. Breathe here as you round across the spine. And let that breath be long and slow. And just continue to breathe here. Good. So as you feel ready right now, you're going to step the right foot forward to the hands. So step the right foot forward to the front of the mat. And take your hands to your shins. Inhale, lengthening the chest forward and up. Exhale, rounding across the spine. Now take your hands to your hips. As you press through the feet, inhale, lifting the chest on up. Find your way to a standing position. And release the hands back down to the sides. So as you inhale, float the arms up and over the head. And as you exhale, hinge and fold here. Inhale, lengthening through the chest. And exhale, floating on down. Inhale, raising those arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, hands come to the sides. Inhale, floating those arms up. And exhale, hinging and folding here. Inhale, lengthening through the chest. Good, guys. Exhale, folding again. Inhale, raising those arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bringing those hands to the sides. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lengthening halfway. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, raising those arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bringing those hands back to the sides. So let's interlace the fingers once again here in standing. And press your palms all the way in front of you. As you inhale, raise the arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, rounding across the spine. So we're doing this action a lot today. Inhale, lifting up through the chest, lifting up through the heart. Exhale, rounding across the spine. So this stretches out those back muscles. Inhale, lifting up through the chest. And exhale, rounding across the spine. One more time, lifting up through the chest. This time, interlacing your hands behind your back. So as you interlace your hands behind your back, begin to lean the chest on forward. And allow your elbows to begin to move towards the ceiling here. Release the head down towards the mat. And maybe lift the fingers up off the low back. Breathe into the shoulders here as you lift the chest. And exhale, lower on down. Inhale, lift the chest all the way up. And exhale, release the palms to the sides. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale, interlace the fingers here. Press your palms forward in front of you. Inhale, raise those arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, rounding across the spine. Inhale, lifting up through the chest, heart, and sternum. Exhale, rounding across the spine. So really nice back stretches today. One more time. Inhale, lifting up through the chest, heart, and sternum. Look up. Exhale, rounding across the spine. So this time, let's take those hands behind the back, interlace the fingers the other way. Draw the elbows up towards the ceiling. And lift those fingers up off the back. Breathe here as you breathe into the chest, heart, and the sternum. And as you exhale, lower that head on down. Take the hands to the low back, lift the chest up, and exhale, release the palms down to the sides. Inhale, float those arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, hinge and fold all the way. Inhale, lengthening up halfway. Good. Let's take the hands down to the mat and walk those feet back. Downward facing dog pose here. And release those knees down to the mat. Inhale, peeling up the chest, heart, and sternum. Exhale, rounding across the spine once again. Inhale, peeling up chest, heart, and sternum. Again, exhale, rounding across the spine here. Inhale, lengthening chest, heart, and sternum. Exhale, rounding across the spine. So this time, as you feel ready, you'll take your hands to blocks. And you'll step your right foot through to the hands. And then as you inhale, lengthen through the chest, heart, and sternum. And as you exhale, walk your right foot to center here. As you inhale, lift up through the chest, heart, and sternum. Tuck the left toes underneath. And as you exhale, rounding through the spine, but straightening that right leg. Inhale, bending in through the right knee, lifting the chest. Exhale, straightening across the right leg and breathing. So don't move too quickly here. Inhale, bending that knee, lifting the chest. Exhale, rounding across the spine, because this is a really deep stretch on the hip flexor. Now take your left foot, turn it down to the mat, and walk your hands inside the leg. Take your hands, bring them up to your hips, and straighten across your right leg here. Now take your right foot and see that your right foot lines up with your left arch of the foot. And as you feel ready here, bend deeply into that right knee. Good. So as you bend into that right knee, feel both feet pressing down into the mat. And allow both sides of that chest to lift on up. Good. Now straighten across that right leg and bend deeply into that right knee. Straighten across that right leg and bend deeply into that right knee. One more time, straighten across the right leg. One more time, bend deeply into that right knee. So take your right forearm this time and place it on top of your right thigh. This is actually a really nice stretch in the right inner groin. Spin the chest up towards the ceiling here and breathe. Place your left hand behind your back. So inhale, breathing in, so you bend that knee. And exhale, breathing out. As you roll your right buttocks underneath you, inhale, lifting up through the chest. And exhale, pressing down through the right forearm. One more breath here. Inhale, breathing in, opening up the heart. And exhale, beginning to lift up the chest, heart, and sternum. Good. So let's turn our feet to parallel this time. And turn our feet to the other side of the mat. So we're going to take the left forearm this time and place it on the left thigh. Take your right hand and place it on the right hip. Now look down at that foot just to see that the left knee is bent to 90 degrees. Good. And from here, draw your left outer hip in. Press down firmly through the right heel. And begin to open your chest, your heart, your sternum towards the ceiling. Take your right hand, release it behind your back. Take your left buttocks and hug it underneath you. Continue to breathe here as you lift through the chest, the heart, the sternum. Now take your right hand, place it right back on that hip, and lift the chest up again. Straighten through that left leg, turn the left foot in, and let's step the feet back together. Interlace the fingers once again. Press your palms forward in front of you. Inhale, lift those arms all the way up. And exhale, rounding through the spine. So it doesn't even have to be that much. Inhale, lifting up through the chest. Nice. Exhale, rounding across the spine. Good, guys. One more time. Inhale, lifting up through the chest. Okay. As you exhale, forward fold all the way down to the mat. So you could take your hands to blocks and breathe here. So as you breathe here, see that the feet are parallel. See that the weight is traveling from the inner feet to the outer feet. Allow your head to release down to the mat. And just breathe into those shoulders here. This should be a great opportunity for you to breathe into your shoulders, your middle back, and your lower back. So sometimes even in a vinyasa class, we slow everything down just so that we could pay attention to the various parts of the body. So not every class we have to be moving constantly. Some classes we move a little slow. Then some classes we speed it up again. So breathing into the back body here. And exhaling and releasing. Breathing into the back body. And exhale, releasing. One more time. Breathing into the back body here. And exhale, releasing. Now let's take our hands to the hips. Inhale, lift the chest, and find our way back up to standing. Good. So as you feel ready, inhale, lift those arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinge and forward fold. Inhale, lengthening halfway. Okay, from here, we're going to find our way back onto our mat and walk our feet back. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, lower the knees down to the mat. Inhale, peel up the chest, heart, and sternum. Exhale, rounding across the spine. Inhale, peeling up the chest, lengthening the heart. Exhale, rounding across the back body here. Inhale, lifting up chest, heart, and sternum. Exhale, rounding middle, upper, lower spine. So one more time as you lengthen forward, take your hands back to those blocks and step your right foot forward in between the hands. So as you press through the left ball of the foot, lift the left leg up and spin the left foot out to the side. Now take your hands back to your hips again. And inhale, lift the chest as you straighten the right leg. Now see that your feet are wide apart. You don't want your feet to be too close together. And bend deeply into your right knee. Inhale, straighten across the right leg. Exhale, bend deeply into that right knee. Inhale, straighten across that right leg. And bend deeply into that right knee. Okay, so from here, what we're going to do is you're going to take your blocks and you're going to stack one block on top of the other, just like this, and come into triangle pose. Now, as you take triangle pose like this is a very lifted version of triangle pose. Take your left hand and place it behind your back. And turn your chest up towards the ceiling. Press to the right ball of the foot. And lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. So try to find your balance here, because obviously your balance can be thrown off as you're on two blocks instead of one. So keep lifting up through that left arm, the left chest, the left side of the heart. And breathe here. Now take your right hand, or place your left hand rather on your left hip, and take your right hand inside the leg. Bend deeply into that right knee. And take both of your hands back to the blocks. Now spin onto the ball of the back foot. Walk the right toes over this time. And release the head on down. Now as you bend that left knee, release it to the ground. Begin to straighten across your right leg here. Lift the right toes up off the floor. Breathe into the back of the right glute. Breathe into the back of the right buttocks. So there should be a nice, long, deep stretch there. And then again, bend deeply into that right knee, stretching out the right psoas, right quad. And then once again, straightening across the right leg this time. Lift the right toes up off the floor. Now one more time, bending into that right knee. This time we're going to step the right foot back and behind us. Take the hands, place the hands to either side of the chest, and float those legs on up into downward facing dog. So downward facing dog pose, just taking a moment here as you turn the fingers out away from one another. And release the head on down. Now breathing in here. And breathing out. And breathing in here. And breathing out. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, release those knees back down to the floor. And step your left leg forward in front of you. So I'm going to switch sides on the mat so you guys can see. So take your left foot in front of you this time. And press your right foot all the way down. From here, lift up through that right leg and straighten across the left leg this time. Bend deeply into that knee. And spin your right foot down to the mat. Now take your hands and place them on your hips and straighten across that left leg. From here, bend that left knee deeply and straighten across that left leg. Bend the left knee deeply here and straighten across that left leg. Bend that left knee deeply one more time. And straighten across that left leg. So from here, you'll take your hand to the block, and you'll place one block on top of the other. And begin to revolve your chest up towards the ceiling. And then as you feel ready, inhale, float your right arm up towards the ceiling here. So press down through the right ball of the foot. Lift up through the right side of the chest. Keep pressing down through the left ball of the foot and firming your left buttocks in. Lifting up through the right side of the chest. and softening your eyes here. So this is called triangle pose. We're really high in this pose. Lift up through the chest and the heart. And exhale, lower your right hand down. So you'll take your blocks, bring them to either side of the foot, and spin your hands down to the floor as you walk your left toes over towards the left. Release the head on down. And lower that right knee down to the mat. Straighten across that left leg this time. And breathe your way here. Bending deeply into that left knee this time, lifting the chest. Exhale, straightening across that left leg all the way. One more time. Bending deeply into that left knee. Okay? And straightening across that left leg. So breathe here. Breathe into the outer hip flexor. Breathe into the quadricep. Breathe into the knee. That's it. And then one more time, we'll release that foot down and step the left foot back. Good. So from here, we're actually going to come into a child's pose for a moment. Take your feet, bring your knees rather wide apart, bring your feet together, and release your forehead down on the mat. So if you feel any tension in the knees whatsoever, then just keep the head lifted here. So the head can come to the ground, keep the hips lifted. And just breathe here. So that's if you have any knee tension here. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. So from here, as you feel ready, you're going to take yourselves back into tabletop pose. And from tabletop pose, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, pressing back to downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, begin to walk the hands towards the feet or the feet towards the hands. Forward fold. And as you take forward fold, just release the head on down and breathe here. So lower back stretch is really nice for the body. Interlace the thumbs to the elbows and release the head on down. Just breathe in here as you feel into that rounded back stretch. And as you open up both the legs and the back muscles. Now take your hands and place them on the low back and inhale, peel up the chest here. Good. So one more time, interlace the fingers here. Press the palms forward. And lift the fingers up towards the ceiling. So we keep going between these poses. As we exhale, we round through the spine. And as we inhale, we lift up the chest. Perfect. As we exhale, we rounding through the spine. And as we inhale, we float up the chest. Yes. As we exhale, we rounding through the spine. And as we inhale, we peeling up the chest. Okay. Now one more time, interlace those fingers behind the back, elbows draw to the ceiling, and begin to fold forward here. Lift those fingers up off the back. Maybe lift those fingers up towards the ceiling here as you breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. Lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum. Come back up all the way. Come back up all the way. So we're going to take tree pose here. So I'd recommend if you have a wall near you, you could place your hand on a wall. If you don't have a wall near you, it's okay. We could do it in the center of the room. So if you do have a wall, you'll place your right hand to the wall. And you'll bring your left knee to a bent position. And then you'll take your left foot, you'll lift the left leg up, and you'll place your left foot on your right thigh crease. It's okay. So at first, your right hip is going to want to go towards the wall. So you're going to have to kind of push your right hip away from the wall. That's it. And you'll take your left hand to the center chest here. And then walk your right fingers up the wall. So you're going to walk your right fingers up the wall. and turn your right hand to face the center of the room. So if you don't have a wall, it's okay. You're just going to keep your left foot on the floor and lift your right arm up. And then from here, you'll lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe here, as we move into tree pose, see if you can lift even higher through the chest. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. Now take your left hand back into center and bring your right hand down the wall. Now release the left foot down to the mat and come back to center for a moment. So you'll feel here that one side of the body is stretched, the other side of the body needs to be stretched. So we're going to turn to the other side now. And once again, if you're not against the wall, you're just going to bend the right knee and just turn it in like this. Turn the foot in. Or you could lift the leg up. Some of us can actually lift the leg up away from the wall and place it onto the right thigh crease. Now walk your left fingers up the wall, walk your left fingers up the wall, and turn your left foot in, or left hand into the center of the room. Take your right hand, lift it on up, and see that both palms face one another. So you press that left hip away from you, draw your belly in and breathe. Inhale, lifting up through the chest. And exhale, softening here again. Inhale, lifting up through the chest. Exhale, softening and releasing here. Once again, inhale, lifting up through the chest. Exhale, softening and releasing. So now, you'll take your right hand, you'll release it down from the foot, left hand comes down the wall, and you'll release that right foot on down. Okay. So inhale, raise those arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinging and folding down towards your mat. Inhale, lengthening through the chest. Okay, we're going to take our hands back onto the mat and walk the feet back, downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, lower those knees down. And using blocks, step the right foot in between the hands. As you press down through the left foot, you're going to begin to lift that left leg on up again. Now spin the left heel down to the side and place both your hands on your hips. Okay. So from here, we're going to see that our left foot is not too far away from our right foot. So maybe 3 feet apart, maybe not too much more than that. And you're going to turn your hips just slightly from left to right. So the left hip, it may be facing outward, but you're going to turn it in towards the right foot. Then you're going to lean forward, and you're going to place your hands on these blocks again. Now bend into that right knee slightly and release the head down towards the mat. Breathe into the back of that right leg. This is definitely a hamstring stretch. And as you breathe, just release the head and the eyes here. Breathing in. And breathing out. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Re-bend into that right knee. Release the left knee down onto the mat again. One more time, straightening across the right leg. So as you straighten across the right leg this time, walk your blocks back all the way. So your blocks are either in line with your knee or in line with your hip. And you're going to lift the chest up here and just lean forward slightly. So you don't have to go as deep in this stretch because it's a lot more. We kind of have been prepping for this all day. It's a lot more than the other stretches. But you'll feel it. You'll feel where your range is, and then just breathe into that. So breathe into that place. Obviously, you can walk the blocks forward if you want, or you can just stay wherever it feels like you start to feel that stretch. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. Good, and as you feel ready, you'll re-bend into this right knee, and you'll step your right foot on back. You're going to just take the left foot forward, so we just switch out the legs, and then you're going to lift up through that right leg. So let's start with this long stretch here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to step the right foot forward, and you'll take your hands to the hips and lift up the chest. So just make sure your feet aren't too far apart, because we're going to come into a forward fold here. So take your hands to either sides of those blocks, and just release the head on down as you breathe. Breathing in here, and breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. So let's bend into that left knee, lower the right foot down to the mat, and begin to straighten across the left leg here. Just release the head down as you breathe. And this is a great way to stretch out that left leg. Good. And breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. So you should feel this in your glutes. You should definitely feel this in your glutes. Breathing in. And breathing out. Okay. So from here, let's take this left foot on back. Let's step the right leg on forward one more time. And let's bring both hands inside of that right leg. So as you bring both hands inside the right leg, walk the hands a little bit wider apart and just release the head on down. So this is actually an inner groin stretch. It's there's a name. The common name is called Wizard's Pose. But as you take this pose, you're just going to release the head down here and breathe. So very oftentimes, we've done a lot of work today in the quadriceps, in the hamstrings, and now we're doing the groins. Just breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. Good, so stepping back that right foot and bringing it back onto the side. So let's do the same thing with the left leg right now. You'll step the left foot out, you'll turn the left foot out, and then you'll release the hands down as you breathe here, rounding spine. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. So as you feel ready, you'll take the left foot, you'll bring it on back, and then from here, you'll find your way into downward facing dog. So spread across the fingers here, lift the legs up, and find your way back into downward facing dog pose. And as you take downward facing dog pose, just release the head and close the eyes here. Just breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. Good. Okay, so let's release those knees down on the mat once again. Let's take ourselves onto our back one more time and hug our knees into the chest. As you take your way onto your back, hug your knees into the chest and breathe here. Good. Okay. Once again, bring your hands right around the back of your right knee. And just breathe into that right knee. So now what I'd like you to do is extend your left leg all the way forward here. And take your right knee out to the right side. So you're still holding onto that knee. And you're drawing the right knee towards the right shoulder as you press down through the left buttocks, the left groin rather. So breathing into the right leg this time. This is a groin stretch. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. Draw that right knee back to center. Let's exchange legs. So now take the left knee into the chest. And we're going to do the same. So draw the left knee out to the left shoulder this time. And breathe into the left groin, left hip flexor. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. You'll draw that left knee back to center. You'll draw the right knee in and hug both knees into the chest. Just rock the head from side to side here. And release the feet on down. Okay, so take your hands. Bring your hands along the sides of the body and begin to inhale. Peel up the pelvis here. So you have your hands, which are along sides of your body. You could even bring them out in a cactus shape. And then you're going to lift up the pelvis here. So this is a great stretch to take after all of the forward folding and all the hamstring stretches that we just did today. This is a really nice back bend to help open up the chest and the heart. So breathing here. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. Release the pelvis all the way down. Okay. So as you draw the left knee into the chest, take the left foot, place it over the right thigh crease. Now, as you take your right leg, you're going to hug your right knee into the chest here. So you'll breathe in here. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And let's take the right knee into the chest. Let's take the right foot, cross it over the left thigh. And then you'll take your left hand, your left palm, you'll place it behind the back of that leg as well. And breathe in here. And breathe out. So these are our groin stretches. And breathe in. And breathe out. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. So you'll release that left foot down to the mat. You'll release the right foot down to the mat. One more time, let's lift up that pelvis just to breathe in, open up the chest, shoulders, spine. Good. And as you exhale, lower that pelvis on down. Now again, just float the knees over towards the left side and breathe here. And breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let's take the knees over to the other side. So we got both sides of the body stretching here. We've done a lot of work in the spine today, a lot of work in the legs, a lot of work in the hips. So it'll be a great time for us to relax fully as we allow our breath to become long and slow. And eventually, as you bring those knees back into the chest, just begin to hug the knees in one more time. You can rock side to side if you'd like. And on an exhalation, just extend those legs all the way forward in front of you. And we're just going to be here for a minute or so. This is called Shavasana. Shoulders roll underneath you, feet release to either side. And then just breathe naturally. We've been following the breath all day, so this is a good time to just let go. So keep those eyes closed. Just let the breath be long and slow here. As you feel ready, just begin to bring your knees to a bent position and roll over onto your side. And whenever you're ready, press your way up and find your way into a seated position. As you press your way up into a seated position, bring the hands to the center chest. And on an exhalation, just release the chin towards the chest as we let go of our practice. So, as always, guys, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the practice. A little bit more mild practice today, but that's okay. Sometimes we do that in our practice. Sometimes we have it a little bit more fast, sometimes slow. You know, this is a more mild practice, so I hope you guys enjoyed the practice today. And just for you guys, I hope that you guys had a phenomenal morning today. Once again, my name is Jason Gorenstein, and I hope that you are having a wonderful time today. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's practice. Thank you guys so much. Gail, I hope that you have a lovely day, and Dawn. Hopefully that you have a lovely day. And yes, this is really nice. So thank you so much, Anton. I hope you have a really nice day. Thank you. And yes, thank you guys so much.
Gail, as always, thank you so much. Guys, have a phenomenal day today. Really a pleasure to be able to share and teach. And I hope that I will see you guys very, very soon. So have a great day. Be well, be happy, my friends. Namaste. Thank you, guys.